Stocks jumped and oil prices fell today following President Trump's announcement of a two-week ceasefire in the war with Iran. The Dow Jones closed the day up more than 1,300 points. The Nasdaq is up more than 600 and the S&P up more than 160. The stock surge comes as oil prices fall. Brent crude, the international benchmark, fell to $96 a barrel, down from triple digits over the past week. But we also know that the values are higher than they were before the war started. CBS News senior business and tech correspondent Jo Ling Kent joins us now. Jo Ling, Iranian media outlets say Tehran has suspended oil tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz after some activity this morning. We know White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called those reports false, but what do we need to see in order to start seeing oil prices sustainably lower?
Well, there's a lot of factors at play here, and any change would take between about 2 to 6 weeks, according to oil analysts. And essentially what you might see if oil prices were to come down is that adhering to that old philosophy of up like a rocket and down like a feather, meaning the prices come down much slower than how much they went up and how quickly that happened. And so essentially, you also have the factor of refineries here in the United States switching to summer blend gasoline, which is more expensive. And of course, a lot rides on what happens in the Strait of Hormuz. If it is able to be cleared, there's a lot of steps that have to happen on that front, whether it's insurance or it's naval escorts, it's sustained and effective diplomacy for all of that to happen to bring, supply back to where it was prior to this war beginning. So there's a lot of factors at play. It also depends on, when it comes to gas prices, where you live in the country as well. So you may see gas prices come down a little more quickly if this is indeed the case. In Texas, for example, closer to the Gulf rather than California, which of course has many more surcharges and taxes on every gallon of regular. So there's a lot of factors at play, but the thing you have to remember when you're filling up your tank, gas prices tend to go up like a rocket and they come down typically like a feather.
Good to keep in mind. All right, let's talk the word tariffs, okay? Because the president is threatening to impose tariffs on goods imported into the U.S. from countries supplying Iran with military weapons. Can he do that? Would it have to be restricted to those 150 days given the Supreme Court ruling?
So on the 150-day question, it's a really smart question to be asking, given what happened at the Supreme Court back in February. Essentially, what that ruling decided was that they struck down his ability to use the IEEPA to impose broad global tariffs. But he didn't say in this Truth Social post that you're looking at right now how he would use or which legal levers he would use to make this a potential reality. And so if you don't specify which legal authorities are going to be used, he could, in theory, use narrower statutes and sections to deploy this. But essentially, when it comes to that Supreme Court decision, it's the broad use is what the court had been deciding on at that point. But, this is a very complex situation, given not just what has happened at the Supreme Court, but when it comes to the broader economy and how tariffs have come back and forth. But if you look at this and you talk to the experts out there who are analyzing this information, this is basically what analysts are telling us. It's a coded threat to China and to Russia. And so if in that case, this does indeed go into effect, it would impact products coming out of China and then the limited amount of products that come out of Russia into the United States.
Okay, Jo Ling Kent, thank you so much.
Thanks.
You can track how the war in Iran is affecting gas and oil prices at cbsnews.com/gas prices.